An endless world stretches towards the horizon, forests and open grasslands lying still beneath the heat, quiet, ancient, almost untouched. But in a single moment, everything begins to move. Hidden deep beneath tall grass, a fragile life is waiting to begin. A small clutch of eggs rests silently on the ground. No shelter, no barrier, only silence and danger everywhere. On this land, the Indian peafowl does not rule the sky. It lives close to the earth, moving through scrublands and forest edges, searching for seeds, insects, fallen fruit, and tender shoots. But every step comes with risk, because here there is no room for carelessness. This is a world of watchers, a world of ambush, a world where survival begins long before life even hatches. When the breeding season arrives, the stillness of the landscape begins to change. The male emerges, brilliant, radiant, impossible to ignore. His long train rises behind him, unfolding like a jeweled fan. Hundreds of eye-like patterns shimmer in the light, glowing blue, green, bronze, and gold. He turns slowly. He trembles his feathers. He sends a rustling vibration through the air. This is more than beauty. This is a test, a contest, a silent competition for the right to pass life forward. The strongest males display longest. The healthiest males shine brightest, and the female watches carefully. She is not looking only for beauty. She is choosing endurance. She is choosing strength. She is choosing the future. And once she chooses, everything changes. While the male remains a spectacle of color, the female disappears. She leaves the open display grounds behind and slips into cover, into bushes, into dry grass, into shadow. There is no nest high in a tree, no woven structure hanging above the ground. Instead, she creates only a shallow scrape among leaves and grass, simple, hidden, easy to miss. And that is exactly the point. For nearly 4 weeks, she stays there, still, silent, almost motionless. She lowers her body over the eggs, keeping them warm through changing days and cool nights. Every hour is a balance between hunger and caution. If she leaves too long, the eggs may cool. If she moves too often, the nest may be discovered. So she waits. In this world, stillness is not weakness, it is strategy. But silence alone cannot stop every threat. A faint sound moves through the grass, a subtle shift, a sliding motion. A predator is near. A snake, slow, precise, patient, drawn by instinct and opportunity. It does not need speed. It only needs to remain unseen long enough to reach the nest. The mother senses the danger. She cannot overpower it. She cannot fight it head on. So she chooses something far more dangerous: deception. She steps away from the nest, drawing her attention to herself. Then, suddenly, she acts wounded, one wing lowered, her body uneven, her movement broken and weak. It is a performance, but one that could cost her everything. The snake notices. It changes direction. It follows. Step by step, the mother leads it farther from the eggs, farther from the future she is protecting. Every second is a gamble. If the predator sees through the act, she may die. But if it works, the eggs remain hidden. This is how survival is won here, not always by force, but by instinct, by courage, by sacrifice. Days pass. Inside the eggs, life grows stronger. Then, at last, the shells begin to crack. Tiny fractures appear, barely visible, barely audible. But everything is about to change. The chicks emerge, small, weak-looking, unsteady. Yet there is no time for fragility, no safe pause, no gentle beginning. Within hours, they must stand, they must move, they must follow their mother into a world already full of danger. Their down is soft, striped and muted in shades of brown and cream. Not beautiful, not bright, but perfect for hiding. This is their first protection, camouflage. They freeze when alarm comes. They scatter when needed. They follow closely when the signal is safe. Already, their lives depend on speed, timing, and instinct. The Indian peafowl may be famous for dazzling feathers, but its earliest days are defined by something very different. Not display, but disappearance. Predators are everywhere. From above, raptors circle with unblinking focus. A chick that strays too far or moves at the wrong moment can be seen in an instant. On the ground, mongooses, wild cats, foxes, and snakes patrol the edges of cover. They search constantly for weakness, for hesitation, for opportunity. And not every chick survives. Some vanish quickly before they have truly begun. Some fall behind. Some fail to react in time. The wild does not pause for loss. It continues, always. For those that remain, every day becomes a lesson. Where to feed, when to stay low, how to read the warning calls of other birds, how to recognize movement in grass, how to stay close, but not too exposed. By day, they forage with their mother. Seeds, tender shoots, tiny insects rich in protein. They peck at the ground constantly, building strength with every meal they manage to find. But food is never separated from danger. To eat, they must move. To move, they must risk being seen. As the weeks pass, the chicks grow stronger. Their legs become steadier, their reactions faster. They no longer seem as fragile as they did on the first day, but the pressure never fades. At dusk, the world becomes more dangerous. Night belongs to hunters. The family must seek safer ground, often moving towards low branches or secure cover where they can rest above the reach of some predators. The young must learn quickly where to step, when to stay low, how to read the warning calls of other birds, how to recognize movement in grass, how to stay close but not too exposed. Some months into life, another milestone arrives. The beak begins to change. First, the color deepens, then its shape becomes more pronounced. A sense of individuality starts to appear. It seems a small change, but it is a sign of maturity, a sign of survival. Later, the tail feathers begin to emerge, not the spectacle of infant down, but a series of short spikes hinting at the radiant length to come. This is not just growth, it is a promise, a word about the future told in the language of feathers. This is a world of watchers, a world of ambush, a world where survival begins long before life even hatches. When the breeding season arrives, the stillness of the landscape begins to change. The male emerges, brilliant, radiant, impossible to ignore. His long train rises behind him, unfolding like a jeweled fan. Hundreds of eye-like patterns shimmer in the light, glowing blue, green, bronze, and gold. He turns slowly. He trembles his feathers. He sends a rustling vibration through the air. This is more than beauty. This is a